Like most gay people, I'm obsessed with lighting. If you are in my home, you will never experience an overhead light.
When George McGraw isn't judging the lighting at your house, he obsesses over one thing: clean running water. Because in case you didn't know, over 2 million people in America don't have running water or a working toilet at home. George is the founder of DigDeep, the nonprofit that led the first ever U.S. national study on water, sanitation, and access. Apart from getting clean, running water to neglected communities such as Navajo families, George moonlights as a party thrower, if that's even a word. And he happens to be the first guest to answer a question that we think no respected social impact leader has been asked before.
It's an interesting question. It is not a simple question at all. And the fact that you would even pretend it's a simple question is crazy.
I'm Camila Rente, and this is Impact After Hours, a show where changemakers sign off from work and log into life. George, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Camille. Impact After Hours, we're recording this in the middle of the day, but I think that means that I get to take the rest of the day off, maybe hit the bar afterward.
Yeah.
We should be having a margarita right now.
The extreme extrovert is, I'm holding on to that. George, I have never met anyone who has been so straightforward with their personality, and you're the perfect guest for our podcast. So I've been very eager to have you on. So I'm glad we made this happen. I touched on DigDeep earlier, but we are going to get into that. But you are a person of, you have a few passions, correct?
I do, yeah.
One of which is neon art. Can you tell me how you got into it, why neon art, and maybe like a favorite piece that you've ever made?
Oh, absolutely. Well, like most gay people, I'm obsessed with lighting. If you are in my home, you will never experience an overhead light. The light will always will always be immaculate. In fact, if I'm in your home, you will also not experience an overhead light because I'm gonna first thing I do when I get to your house is run around and make the lighting perfect. I've always been really impacted by what lighting can do to a vibe. The mood it can put you in, the kind of intimacy it can create. And I'd always wanted to learn how to bend glass and work with neon. And like many people, COVID hit and I was like, okay, I have time. I'm interested.
Yes.
And I found this really incredible artist who named Lily Lakeish, who's here in Los Angeles, who loves to teach people how to do neon art, make neon sculptures, make neon signs, color blend, design, wire. It's a pretty big undertaking, everything from bending the glass to filling it with the gas to putting these things together. And, it was during COVID, so she didn't have a lot of people who were willing to come into the studio and do this work with her. So I got to work really closely with her on a bunch of projects. And my specialty is kind of 3D standalone kind of sculptures.
And is it true that you give those as a parting gift for people who visit your house?
Well, for some of my exes, they were parting gifts. But no, I think I'm very lucky to have made them for a lot of friends. One of my friends quipped recently that if you're in a gay man's house in Los Angeles or New York, you're going to see one of my sculptures.
Oh my gosh. There is a George McGraw piece.
That's exactly right. I've been fortunate to have my pieces featured in Architectural Digest like 3 times this year. And it's just a little side project. I don't even make money from it. It's just a passion of mine.
You touch on a few things because I also love architecture and interior design. Lighting, I completely agree. It can make or break a look, the vibe, whatever you're hosting, and the big light. As we all know, the underhead lighting, fluorescent, will kill it instantly. Like, let's not turn it on.
I mean, there's a reason they turn one on you in like a police inquiry, where they're like, tell me where you were that night. This
is not an interrogation. We're supposed to this is a party.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, interrogation.
So we talked about DigDeep earlier, or we touched on it, and you founded it back in 2011. So it's many years behind you. But when working with members of the different communities over the years, was there a moment that's impacted the way you think about social change?
Incredibly. I think I remember early on the Navajo Nation, where we do a lot of work, almost a third of people that live on that reservation don't have running water at home. So every day they're going outside their house, and if they're lucky, they're buying bottled water at the store. But a lot of people are pulling it from a livestock well, or they're melting snow in the winter, or they're using the bathroom at a friend's house or at school or at a truck stop. And, we do this incredible work. Most of the crew is Navajo, and put running water in people's homes. And I remember the early days when it was just a couple of us, and I was still building those systems by hand. And I had this sort of maybe some of your listeners will recognize it, this kind of millennial obsession with making an impact in the world and making people's lives better. And I think a lot of us of our generation kind of approached that with this excitement and energy, the world's going to change and everyone needs to be celebrating this. And I remember the water turning on in one of these first homes, and it was for this older Navajo grandma. And it was going to be this big moment, right? Where we turn on the sink, this moment of truth. Is the water going to flow? It'll be clean. It'll be hot and cold. It'll be really exciting. And I remember her going over very quietly, turning on the faucet, watching it run, absolutely no change of expression on her face. And then just sort of nodding, reaching over and very quickly turning it off, realizing how precious it was, not wanting to waste it. And then looking at me and kind of nodding. And it was it completely changed the way I looked at my work. I thought it should be that simple. It's that simple for the rest of us. Some of them completely take our water access for granted. Yeah. It's this kind of impact that you have in someone's life and in their home, an impact on their family, on their day-to-day. It should have this kind of quiet awe and confidence to it. And so we've tried to bring more of that to the way we talk about our work and really center that kind of experience rather than this this big kind of rah celebration confetti moment, which I think, it should be obvious. Everyone should have access to water.
If there's one thing though that you can share with our listeners about the work that you do, how can they help? What is the maybe the first step they can consider?
So when someone really wants to get involved in our work, I always say all right, take a 1 liter water bottle. I had my Erewhon mason jar, like a good Angelino. And, fill that liter bottle 4 times. That's about a gallon of water. Or you can use an old milk jug. And just for 24 hours, every drop of water you use, make sure it comes from there and that you don't use more than a gallon. That's about how much our clients use on a daily basis. And if you're going to brush your teeth, if you're going to cook some food, if you're going to wash your armpits, if you're going to take a drink, have it come from there. And really, I think, settle into the experience of planning your entire day around how much water you have, because that's what these 2.5 million Americans are experiencing every day. They're making decisions for themselves and their families based on just how much water do I need to survive today. And once you've done that, there are tons of ways to get involved. The biggest and most important is really to donate so that we can take 100% of those dollars and build water systems for people all over the country that still don't have running water.
Yeah, definitely. And George, towards the end of this conversation, I would love for you to share more about DigDeep, but we are here for a reason.
Yeah.
Which is for you to chill, take the day off. But with me, I don't know if that's a fortunate or unfortunate thing for you, but
of course it's fortunate.
This is a podcast about your life off the clock. Who is George McGraw when he is not, focusing on the work at DigDeep, which I know, like any social entrepreneur or any social impact leader, it's kind of a 24/7 type of job, and your mind is always on those things. But what I've learned very quickly doing this podcast is that our guests, our leaders, are so brilliant and live very colorful and exciting lives too. outside of their jobs or their duties. So let's start with a lightning round.
Let's do it.
Of seemingly random questions. Are you ready to play?
I am ready to play. This is like the podcast equivalent of what's in your bag.
What's in your bag? Yes, correct.
Which is my favorite thing online.
What is the last song you listened to?
I listened to Holiday by Confidence Man this morning when I was working out, and it is such a good summer song.
Okay, I am not familiar. Are you willing to give us a line?
It is unfortunately electronic.
Oh, okay.
There's no way I could sing that song to you, I don't think.
Oh my gosh, okay. Clearly, I don't know, but that song is...
But if you haven't heard it, you have to get it on Spotify immediately. It's going to put you in such a good mood.
Okay, we'll make sure. If you said it's a good summer song, we're holding on to summer. All right, what is the GOAT pizza topping in your opinion?
Now, this is really controversial, but I really like a pizza with just tomato sauce on it. I am allergic to dairy. And being from Wisconsin originally, that's a crazy thing to say. And I used to really love a margarita pizza. I'm a purist. I like it really simple, stone-fired, hot oven. But lately, I've really gotten into one with just tomato sauce and herbs on top. So don't at me, but that's my go-to.
Do not come after George.
Yeah, not for that. You can come after me for something else.
Yeah.
Something more interesting.
It's not an answer because tomato sauce. But we'll just take your answer.
Okay, if I'm really pressed,
Okay.
I sometimes add arugula and prosciutto and a little balsamic on top of that.
There you go.
Yeah.
I hate that we pressured you.
You had to get me there. You had to push me there. I appreciate it. That's a good journalist.
Yeah. It's just, the follow-up questions.
Yeah, that's journalism.
Okay. What movie have you quoted lines from the most, and tell us your favorite line?
Wow. If I were to look back at my whole life, the movie, unfortunately, that I've quoted the most is probably Anchorman.
Okay.
And have you seen this 100 movies of the top, 100 top movies of the last, 25 years from the New York Times?
Yeah.
I was like, Anchorman is in the top 20 or something. I was like, that is crazy. But my favorite line.
This is a hard question, I must agree.
It is a really hard question. I truly haven't quoted that movie in years. The one that comes to mind is I Love Lamp. It's not something I say anymore, thank God. I love lamp. But there was a moment in the early aughts where that was coming out of my mouth every day.
Yeah. If I were to pick, but now I'm stumped with which lines I used to quote, but The Devil Wears Prada probably.
These boots? The Chanel boots?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they're not, they don't apply to me. I don't work in fashion.
You don't have the Chanel boots.
I don't know an Anna Wintour type of figure. So it's it does not apply. But I do like to quote it with other people who know the movie very well. Okay. Did you or would you go to your high school reunion?
Oh my God, I absolutely go to my high school reunion. I went to boarding school in southern Wisconsin. And I am one of those lucky people that feel like they have the most fun, fast, and interesting life in the world. And so to get to take that back home and share that with folks would be so fun. But I don't think we've had one. At least I haven't been invited.
Me too.
Maybe I need to look into that actually. Maybe I've been left off the list.
Maybe you need to check on them.
Yeah. I hope everyone's okay.
I thought of a follow-up, which is what would you like to see? Or maybe who? You don't need to name names, but if let's say you get an invite, right after this, a text from, I don't know, someone who
which is how it works. It's probably exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's exactly what will happen today. What would you like to see? What are you going to be interested in?
I would like to see my ex-girlfriends.
Your ex-girlfriends.
The women I had crushes on back when I was straight. Mm-hmm. I think, how fun.
Yeah.
And now to approach them in a new way and have a very different kind of conversation.
Yeah. No, that's a great answer. That high school reunion would instantly would level up. because some reunions can be just like, well, whatever.
The concept of a high school reunion is a little terrifying, though, because like these people, I mean, I didn't go to high school in the town that I'm from. So, the folks that I met in high school are sort of still exactly that age and that way in my mind. And encountering them again now as, I don't know,
Adults.
dads and moms and, whatever professions they do, whatever addictions they're recovering from, however many divorces they've been through, it would be really crazy. I mean, I think this is the thing about being, almost 40 is like, some people are on their second marriage. Some people still haven't gotten married. Some people are getting new hair in Turkey. Some people are on their third startup. It's a crazy time.
Okay, for this final question of this round, George, I'm not sure if, hopefully, fingers crossed, you might be able to answer, but are you familiar with the Harry Potter series?
Oh, please. Yes.
Awesome.
As problematic as it has become, I am deeply familiar with Harry Potter.
Okay, I have to give a shout out to our producer, Joy, who is a big Harry Potter fan, and she has been dying for this question to be asked. And I'm like, I'm not sure if George, is a fan or has seen the series, but I'm glad. Okay, so I think it's maybe a simple question. I don't know.
Okay.
What's your Hogwarts house?
Wow, so it's an interesting question. It is not a simple question at all. And the fact that you would even pretend it's a simple question is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Like back in like conformist era, I was like Gryffindor all the way. I think I am a Scorpio. Okay. And I have used my powers for good. So I think that I've earned Ravenclaw. But if the hat didn't give me a choice, I think it would probably put me in Slytherin. Yeah, I think I might be a Slytherin.
I would like to invite Joy to come in, and I don't know if there's a reaction there, Joy. You are the expert here.
Hi, George.
What's up, Joy?
Thank you so much for actually being a Harry Potter fan. Since we started this show, I have been waiting for this moment. So this means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
Joy, I want you to know that not only am I like a regular Harry Potter fan, I was such a fan of those books when they came out that after the third one, I wrote J.K. Rowling a letter telling her that I wanted to be Ron Weasley in whatever movie she made. And she sent me a signed headshot of herself and a letter back with,
oh my God, what?
With a set of books. Yeah, I was so into them as a kid.
This is the highlight of my year. Like, your answer is beautiful. No notes.
And also, the zodiac sign, I think, had a part in it, right?
Yeah, Scorpio.
It did. The Scorpio Slytherin connection is very accurate. So yes, the sorting hat would choose you to be Slytherin, but Ravenclaw, we will accept.
Listen, I'm good at working inside a system. I can transform Slytherin into something beautiful.
There you go. And that's all that matters. Well, that's it. Signed up for me. Bye, you guys.
Bye, Joy.
Okay, so switching gears a little bit, that's the end of the lightning round. It wasn't lightning at all.
No, I took my time. Yeah, that one thing about me, I'm a big talker.
You love hosting parties. Tell us about the best party that you've ever thrown, and throw in like the best party food or drink.
Wow, you have excellent timing because I threw my 11th annual toga party at my house.
Tell the good people what is, what is the toga party? What is the concept? What happens?
Oh, I got this. So 13 years ago, I was with a friend at dinner. It was the heat of August, like it is now, in Los Angeles. I was like, I want to have a house party. I just moved into this house in Silver Lake. And I was like, what could we do? I was, again, straight at the time. And I was like, Augustus, let's have a toga party. Let's call it Augustus. And we had like a keg and everyone was in a bed sheet and it was very Animal House. Now, fast forward 13 years, this was Augustus the 11th. It is much more sophisticated, incredible guest list, wonderful DJs, a real house party. Like I moved the furniture out, hang up the disco ball, like set up the whole thing. 300 people come through. There's bartenders, there's food. Actually, you'll appreciate this. We got a full Filipino lechon.
Oh
like
my
a
God.
giant pig. It was incredible. And everyone just has such a good time. And there's just something about, wearing something flowy and breezy in the heat of August at night with all of your friends in a house party. And also, I will say, as an end note here, that the art of the house party is almost forgotten.
Yeah.
And Los Angeles is like the place for house parties.
No, I 100% agree. And the fact that, how many years has this been going on?
This was the 11th party, but over 13 years.
Okay. So I feel like with parties that are more like annual traditions, the longevity, lends to also your credibility as a host. Like people trust.
And your skill set. Like you develop as a host, I think, by doing something every year.
And you said you had a recent one that was successful. I bet that was
5 days ago.
Oh my gosh. Are you fully recovered, George, from that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm fully recovered. I think it was like yesterday at 4 p.m. that I started to feel like I'm back.
Yeah. Okay. I can go on a podcast interview.
Exactly. I can see Camille today.
Yes. I'm glad. All right. So what is the best compliment you've ever received? And wait, there's a follow-up here. This is not an easy question, I think. But has there ever been a compliment you received that you didn't like?
Okay, we're gonna start with the latter. Someone told me a couple of years ago, a very close friend of mine told me a couple of years ago that I am intimidating and scary to people.
Okay.
Which I think does dovetail with this conversation of I am a Scorpio, I am a Slytherin, but I do not see myself that way. And she meant it as a compliment. Like I think she meant there's something about you that has like a mystique that people can't figure out, and it was so confronting to me, that compliment, and I couldn't sleep for like 3 days after that.
Really?
So I think that's a big one. But I think honestly, the biggest compliment I have ever gotten was from someone who I work really closely with at DigDeep, a woman a little further along in her career who has done some really massive things in the social impact space and who came to lead our operations at DigDeep and is now the president of the organization. And, one day after a really long kind of marathon of meetings, she looked at me and said, just, do you ever stop and look around and just look at what you built? Like we're 100 people. We're so diverse and we do things no one ever thought was possible. And she said how like proud and excited she was to work there and get to show up at work as her whole self. And I don't know, I think that compliment really still sits with me. And the task of building an organization is no single person's task. I didn't do that by myself. It's this giant collective enterprise, and my job as the founder and CEO is to kind of carry that mission and vision forward and make sure people are all rowing in the same direction. But yeah, I am really proud of what I've built from my bedroom in 2011 to what it is today in 8 states with a big staff doing really cool work around the country.
I feel like their perception of you or how they see you is on a different level compared to like, let's say your client said, good work on this.
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's so different because these are people you work with day in and day out. Like you're in the trenches. And I just, it got me thinking about, our producers and our staff at Hueman Group Media as well. And how like that support system and really being explicit also and upfront about the good work does a lot for someone's confidence as they try to do, whether it's, they're new to the job or they've been working with you for a long time. Like, I feel like hearing you say, this is amazing. It impacts them differently than, like, let's say like, a client recognizing something that you did.
I mean, listen, I'll take a compliment wherever it's coming from.
Yeah. For sure.
Send them to me, tweet them at me. I'll take them forever. But you're right. There's something about a reliable narrator.
Yeah.
Someone who you know has really seen how the sausage is made.
Yes.
And who knows you in and out. And despite all of that, is like taking this moment with a little bit of intensity to tell you how they feel about something. There's an intimacy to that is so powerful. And it cuts both ways, like both compliments, and feedback, like opportunities for growth, criticism even that come from those people also are more powerful. And I'm more likely to act on them. I think there is just something that's sort of true as human beings about that as social creatures.
Of course. This has been so fun, George.
It has been fun.
But we have come to the end, George. And, I'm curious to know, what is your go-to after hours media? What have you been watching or listening to or reading lately? I
am a big book reader.
Awesome.
And yesterday I just finished an incredible book by a female astrophysicist, Janna. I want to say her last name may be Levin, but called How to Survive a Black Hole.
Uh-huh.
And it's basically, if you're a nerd like me and a little bit into science fiction or just physics in general, especially quantum physics, which I'm super into, it's a description of everything we know in physics, both in like actual physics, the physics we can test, and
yes.
in speculative physics. That's not the right word, but anyway, it's escaping me. Everything we know about black holes presented to you as if you're a space traveler that's going to encounter one. And so it's like really easy to understand and digest, and you get to really get familiar with these big concepts like the singularity and the event horizon and this, space and time and the theory of relativity. And it's like, it's fascinating. So if anyone is a little bit into science, it just came out this year and I highly recommend.
Okay. Anything that you're watching or listening to lately? Well, we talked about music earlier, but
let's see. What am I watching? Well, no, I'm not watching it right now, but I cannot wait to go to the theaters and see Freakier Friday and relive my youth.
Yeah, which I heard was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's so rare where we get this piece of nostalgia that's also worth watching.
Yeah.
I was like, when the reviews came out, I was like kind of hiding. I was like, what's it going to be like? But no, it looks like it's going to be really good. All my friends said they loved it.
George, before we wrap things up, anything that you want to share with our listeners? Anything maybe that's big that's coming up for you?
I think the last thing I'll say is just like in this moment of national, international craziness, just head down and love each other.
Yes. With those words, we shall, part ways, George. But hopefully that sticks with our listeners. George, this has been so fun.
It has been fun.
I mean, it's everything and more that I expected. But thank you for joining us on the podcast.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.